I was enjoying my morning coffee before my kids got up, I stumbled across an ad for the Suzuki Foundation's 18 to 8 campaign. Now, naturally, this got my attention because I have a son who is 9 and a daughter who is 11, so I wanted to know why this campaign would gear itself towards kids like mine. So I went through each and every section of the campaign website, and right off the bat, it had me rolling my eyes and saying, "What the duck?" Very first line says, if you're not a kid, vote like one, and has this pledge that you can sign to whoever you're voting for to implement a strong and credible climate action plan along with the threat of global doom and gloom. The campaign is also calling for economic equality, ensuring social justice, and that we have less than 12 years to get global temperatures under control. These kids are, and I quote, mobilized, we're motivated and full of sugar, and we're willing to use any tool at our disposal from picketing and pitching tantrums. Sure, it's cute that this entire website is written as though it's a bunch of 8-year-olds, but as a parent of a former 8-year-old, I don't and never have given in to a tantrum. What do I give tantrums? Well, I give a quick and swift timeout, but by this time I'm on to the FAQ section and on to my second cup of coffee. And I have to admit that this section actually started off kind of cute. They draw the line at 8 because apparently you can't mobilize a 7-year-old, and they equate them to herding cats, which I can agree with, but that is where the cuteness ends. The FAQ section quickly turned into a Greta Thunberg, I want you to panic section full of despair and fear. Poor Suzuki kids can't even enjoy their childhoods because the global climate crisis has to be solved now. Whatever happened to letting our kids be kids? By this time, I was done my second cup of coffee, on to my third, and my son was now waking up. Now, since this whole campaign is geared to kids his age, I figured why not ask him a couple questions. Now, as an important side note, both of my kids are very interested in what's going on in the world and as well as what's happening at home, and neither of them have any filter whatsoever. They say exactly what they think and are brutally honest. I've also taken them to vote with me so that they can see what the whole process is about and why it is so important. So when I asked my son if he thinks that kids his age should be able to vote, I wasn't really surprised when he said yes, because voting is cool. Then I asked him, what's the most important thing a prime minister can do? And right away he said, and I quote, rolling coal and building pipelines. Remember, this is a 9-year-old little boy who loves diesel trucks, and his dad has worked in the oil and gas sector for over 16 years. My next question was, should we have to pay for pollution with things like a carbon tax? And again, my kids have no filter. He said no, because carbon taxes make us poor, Mum. Because the 18 to 8 page uses words like economic equality and social justice, I had to ask my son, do you know what those words mean? And of course, I wasn't surprised when he said no. To finish off my questions, I asked him, who would you vote for if you could vote today? And he said, Mom, I'd vote for that happy guy with the dimples. Of course, I had to ask him, would you vote for Justin Trudeau? And again, I'm quoting here. He said, no, because he's terrible. Worst thing to ever happen to Canada. Don't get me wrong, I applaud getting our kids involved in politics and current events, but there's a difference between getting our kids involved and indoctrinating them. The household always tries to get our kids to look at all sides of the equation and then form their own opinions, even though they're only 11 and 9. Don't worry about the 18 to 8 campaign pushing kids to any political party, because they only endorse the parties with cake, or, according to their promo video, the ones who are against Canadian oil and gas development.